misconception with some people that I've spoken with regards to premonition, and that it is only applicable to your cases if they go to trial.
So it's a very common misperception about the premonition database and the algorithms. First of all, the database covers 87% of all civil cases in the United States, and cases also, by the way, I should say in the UK and other countries as well, and there are more and more being added every day. Just in the United States, over, I think, 1 million or more a day is being added. And those are all cases. So not just the ones that go to trial, not just the ones that have successfully gone to verdict. But the other misperception is how the algorithm works. The algorithm is not looking at only those cases that have gone to verdict or gone to trial and being dismissed. The algorithm looks at all cases, including cases that have been settled, and makes a determination of win rates using an algorithm in which it shows how attorneys have done compared to each other on the same level playing field in the same jurisdiction.
So is the premonition database perfect?
You know, Nathan, I've been doing new product development in the area of insurance for decades. And I don't think I ever worked on a new product, a new insurance product that was perfect. You know, there's an old saying, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And in my years at AIG, that was a cornerstone of us coming out with a new product. The key for any new insurance product, or any new product outside of insurance, is whether it puts the customer in a better position than they would before the product. In the case of premonition, what this means is, can an underwriter underwrite better if they had access to the premonition database and algorithm than they would prior? For a claims examiner, it means, can the claims executive get better results, a lower loss ratio, and a lower expense ratio by access to the premonition database than they would prior? The answer to that is yes. Is everything perfect? Absolutely not. And we're continuing to improve it every year, and it will continue to be that way. Such is the case with every new product that I've ever worked on.
With regards to lawyer selection, Ty, I hear this all the time, we already know who the best people are.
Well, you know, it reminds me of Moneyball, right? So prior to Moneyball, the scouts would say, we already know who the best baseball players are. I know, I can look at how the guy pitches, I can feel it, it's an art, it's not a science. I already know who the best third baseman is. I already know who the best pitcher is. And then all of a sudden, Moneyball blew out that theory. And this happens over and over again in the case of innovation. When art turns into science, where there are feelings, there are now formulas. And that's what's happening with outside counsel selection. That's what's happening as a result of the premonition database and algorithm. Going from the, I have lunch with the guy, he's really good, he tells me stories about cases he won, to a scientific method of determining win rates. It's Moneyball all over again.
So it actually allows you to take in a more in-depth approach to each circumstance on its own merits. So using the analogy with Moneyball, applying it to law, it might be, when you're looking at baseball, it might be, yeah, that pitcher is a great pitcher, but he really isn't great against batters that are excellent with hitting high in the zone and they happen to bat right-handed, or switch hitters. It allows you to really look at various combinations to find the optimal pairings.
I think that's a great point, because premonition is about combinations. It's not about absolutes. So like a baseball, a pitcher is in general a good pitcher, but not against a particular batter, maybe even a particular stadium. Same thing is true of outside counsel. You can have a lawyer who's generally pretty good, but in this jurisdiction against this opposing attorney in front of this judge, he doesn't do well. So as Moneyball has brought science to the combinations necessary of putting together a winning team, so Premonition does the same thing in terms of outside counsel selection.
So with regard to lawyer selection, how can Premonition be used to filter down the field of lawyers out there for a particular subject type or case type and find the top performers?
So the Premonition database does not have to be used to select the attorney that you want to add to your panel or the attorney that you want to have on this particular case. It can be used simply as a filtering process. So there are dozens or hundreds of attorneys in a particular jurisdiction. And what you want to do is not use your feelings or your gut or who you know or who you had lunch with, but use a database and formulas to drive down or filter the top 5 or 10 firms or individual attorneys, actually, not just firms, but individual attorneys that have high win rates in that particular jurisdiction.